Comfort system. Receive tax credits of up to $2,600 when you choose a qualifying Carrier heating and cooling system. Turn to the experts at Carrier and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Carrier, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Find your local dealer at carriermilwaukee.com.
Elevate your escape at Audi North Shore and Audi Milwaukee, where you can save up to $30,000 on a new Audi or get low 0.99% financing for 72 months. At Audi North Shore in Brown Deer and Audi Milwaukee, members of the International Autos Group, where our ordinary needs to be extraordinary. On select in-stock new units. Savings include customer credit and dealer credit. Financing with approved credit. $1,431 per month for $1,000 financed. No down payment required.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can bring your brand to life by transforming lobbies, creating history walls, and beautifying facilities.
For over 32 years, Captivate has been the MVP of trade show exhibits and workplace design and fabrication. Let Captivate craft immersive branded environments that tell your story boldly, beautifully, and with purpose at events and around the office.
Score big by making your next event or your own space unforgettable. Create something legendary by getting started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ. It's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Okay, it's not the fashion you want to do it, but the announcement is the Brewers have the #1 seed heading into October. That's the story. The team that was 4 games under 500 in May, the team that started off with the worst run differential in modern baseball history in its first 4 games, that started 0-4 and made us talk about torpedo bats for a month straight, has the best record in Major League Baseball. Does not matter what happens tomorrow. The Brewers are going to be hosting Game 1. They will have home field advantage as long as they are in the postseason. That is worthy of being celebrated. Yes, they lost the game 7-4. We will talk about the loss and how, less than standard the Brewers have been playing the last week or so. But nonetheless, despite all of it, sometimes you can't see the forest from the trees, and the Brewers have the best record in baseball. You can go up and down every single team in the playoffs, and every single one of them will find a flaw with them and think they're not good enough and think, it's not going to be this easy of a cycle to fall into. Because the truth is, this year, even with the Brewers as the #1 seed, there's no truly elite, oh my God team. There really isn't, including the Brewers, including the Phillies, including the Dodgers, including the Mariners, including the Blue Jays. It is a parity-filled year, and yet the home field advantage will be coming through Milwaukee as long as the Brewers survive. We'll talk about the lineup decisions. We'll talk about the pinch hitters and lack thereof. We'll talk about the situations the Brewers got themselves in and what we learned about the playoff roster today. All that coming up in a moment, but first, let's get you caught up to speed with the highlight recap.
Ready for this? This?
Brought it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
Brewers and Reds, this is Game 2 of a 3-game set. The Mets had already won before this game started, meaning that the Reds needed to win to stay alive. Both teams had base runners in the first but failed to score. In the second, a lot more traffic against Robert Gasser. A couple of nice defensive plays, though, despite the first 2 batters reaching. Sliding stop by Bryce Terang for the first out. Then, with men on the corners, the contact play was on.
1-2. Chopper to third. Backhanded by Durbin. Comes home with it. The tag applied by Jansen. They got him. They cut down Ellie De La Cruz on a ground ball to third. That is a huge second out.
So, Lane Grindle's called it perfectly. They left 2 runners stranded in the second, but Robert Gasser would run into more trouble of his own doing in the third after the first batter reached on a throwing error by Gasser, failing to field his position. Then a line drive to left was misplayed by Isaac Collins. He went for the dive when he probably shouldn't have. It leads to a double. Second and third, nobody out. He struck out Steer, but allowed a clean single up the middle by Sal Stewart. That scored the game's first run. He got Ellie De La Cruz to pop out so you could see a clearing, you could see the light. Runners on second and third and 2 outs, and he got ahead of Stevenson 1 and 2, but ultimately walked him. That would be the end of the line for Gasser. We knew Jacob Mizorowski was going to come into this game. We didn't expect him to load the bases or to enter the game with loaded bases. He got ahead of Key Brian Hayes 0-2.
0-2 on Hayes. Miz throws, breaking ball chopped slowly, and it's going to be an infield hit up the third base line. Nobody can get to it. Put into a perfect spot by Key Brian Hayes. In from third comes Andujar. Everybody else moves up 1. It's 2-0 Reds.
A swinging bunt, what can you do? Well, Mizorowski didn't recover from there. He walks the 9-hitter Matt McClain to walk in a run. Then an RBI single by TJ Friedel with 2 strikes and a throwing error by Isaac Collins scored 3 runs, and you blink and it's 6-0 Reds. But the good news for the Brewers is at the moment they avoided the shutdown inning. An RBI ground out from Christian Yelich. Bryce Terang tried to add some damage.
Pitch to Terang. His fly to deep left field. Backing up his Steer. Back towards the wall. Steer reaches out. Lunging. It hits off his glove. It was in fair territory. No catch. A run scores. It's an RBI double to the opposite field by Bryce Terang. 6-2 Reds lead in the third inning.
But the Brewers would fail to add on from there as Vaughn would ground out. Both starting staffs, or middle staffs I should say, would get the game stabilized in the middle innings until Jackson Churio led off the 6th.
2-2 to Churio. Is a fly ball to center. This is struck well. Friedel back at the track, at the wall. It is gone. Jackson Churio, his 21st of the season. 21 home runs for the 21-year-old. It is 7-3 Reds.
They weren't done. The Brewers trying to claw their way back. They load the bases with some help off the bench.
Brings home the first pitch to Jake, and it's a liner into left. That's going to get down for a base hit. Vaughn around third, on his way home. There will be no throw, and the Brewers have plated another run on the RBI pinch hit single from Jake Bowers. It's 7-4.
They would load the bases. Joey Ortiz, this was the moment. This is why Yelly is leading off, trying to get Joey some more strikes.
Here's the 1-1 to Ortiz. Ground ball off the end of the bat to first. Picked up by Steer. He'll run to the bag and retire Ortiz. And the inning is over.
And that would be really the way she went. The Brewers would fail to get multiple base runners on the rest of the contest, and they fall in this one by a 7-4 final score. But by virtue of the Twins beating the Phillies, the Brewers have clinched the best record in baseball heading into October. We'll break it all down with Jerry Augustine coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
I'm with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, you get the benefit of one-on-one relationships with the James team, like when your sales rep said something unexpected. What did they say?
Hey, this is a little high. You're not printing as much as we thought you were going to print.
Then the James team member had even better news.
Correct. Let's bring that down. Let's make it a little cheaper and still keep you on the same program.
The James Managed Print Services Program. All your document output devices bundled under one invoice that includes service and supplies for one low cost per print. Nice, right, Preston?
Yes, felt great. Felt secure, Don't have to worry about, again, somebody just coming in and selling something and then walking away and never hearing from them again.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Starlight Children's Foundation brightens the lives of sick kids like my son Finn, who was born with congenital heart disease. Learn more about Starlight by visiting starlight.org today.
Elevate your escape at Audi North Shore and Audi Milwaukee, where you can save up to $30,000 on a new Audi or get low 0.99% financing for 72 months. At Audi North Shore in Brown Deer and Audi Milwaukee, members of the International Autos Group, where our ordinary needs to be extraordinary. On select in-stock new units. Savings include customer credit and dealer credit. Financing with approved credit. $1,431 per month for $1,000 financed. No down payment required.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall, but they still win. They're the number 1 overall seed. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. 855-616-1620, the Starting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. If you're looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs, look no further than Fifth Third Bank. They've got a local team right here in Milwaukee and know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving the community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience a unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Jerry Augustine, former Brewers pitcher, joining us. And, well, the Brewers can say they're doing something that hasn't been done since your 82 Brewers, Augie. They have the best record in baseball heading into October, and it is quite a sentence to say, despite as frustrating as the last week and a half or so has been. My view of all this, as people who've been listening the last 4 seasons of me in this role know I'm a glass half full kind of guy. But the reality is, games in September count just as much as the games in August, the games in July, the games in June. When the Brewers were winning 33 games in their winning streaks this year, they earned it in that stretch to buy themselves some room. I understand people are frustrated with how they're playing right now. They have every right to be. But it's still an accomplishment, Augie, to say that this team, this little engine that could, is going to be the best record in October.
It's so special. They have that best record in all of baseball. You know, you said it before, there's no elite team in the game of baseball today. And there's a lot of parity that goes on in Major League Baseball. But when you look at a team over the last 3 or 4 months that has played the most consistent on defense, offense, and pitching, been the most consistent team in baseball, it's the Milwaukee Brewers. They've earned that number 1. They've earned that home field advantage. And when you talk about having no elite team, having a lot of parity, home field advantage can play huge. And I think this ball club has earned it. They deserve it. And they're going to, after tomorrow, they're going to be ready to get started to get into those playoffs, which we'll see starting next Saturday.
So the Reds are fighting for their playoff lives. If they win tomorrow, they are in. And the Mets are begging for the Brewers to win tomorrow. But the Mets also have to win their game in order for the Reds to lose and get in. So there's a lot of scenarios. That's the only scenario for tomorrow. Everyone else is already clinched since the Guardians won on a walk-off today. The Astros are out. The Tigers are in. So the American League has been shored up. Now, we get all the fluff and the happiness out of the way now, Augie. The reality is this team wants to be playing better right now, and they aren't, but there's some reason for that, right? We're seeing some experimentation. I just want to go straight after it in the 6th inning when the Brewers pinch hit Blake Perkins with Jake Bauers, but they did not pinch hit Joey Ortiz in that 9 spot with the bases loaded. My read on the situation was this, that they need to see Joey get these opportunities. It's not going to hurt them in the grand scheme of things if Joey gets an opportunity when they've already clinched the 1 seed. That being said, if this was next Saturday in Game 1 of the DS, down by 3 with the bases loaded, I would expect a pinch hitter there. It gets a little hairier. Maybe it would have been saved Bauers for that spot, given you're going to have one less guy on your bench, I imagine, coming into October. But the point being, the Brewers are not playing October-style baseball on purpose to experiment and see what they have.
Yeah, I think Murph has some questions. I think he wants to find out what direction he's going to go. We saw him tonight on the sidelines. He was making notes, and these are things that he has to do. If he has any questions in the last week and a half, he's been experimenting with doing different things and seeing what different guys do. And I think he brought up Ortiz as far as a guy at shortstop? Would that be the same situation away from him? Probably not. And what he's doing, he's looking for situations that when the game comes on in a situation where he can score some runs or he can do something special, he's got to make sure he has the guys that he wants at the plate. So he's testing. Everybody gets tested. There isn't a person on this team that doesn't get tested in an area or two. And that's what Murph has been able to do over the last 2 weeks. Put guys in different positions, see how they handle it. So when the playoffs come, everybody's ready.
And then one of the other questions the Brewers have had is, beyond what is the outfield alignment, just who is going to play left field. We saw Jake Bauers make an error yesterday there. We see Isaac Collins make a couple of mistakes there today, and his defense has been a story of just why it's taken a step back the last couple of months. He made a couple of poor reads on fly balls today. I know he wants to have them back. Collins is somebody that, again, I'm surprised by this, given how great he was playing in the first 2 months in left field. A guy that was an infielder and then had to learn the outfield on the fly to be on this club. That being said, the easiest way to get into the lineup, Augie, is with your bat. And Collins has slowed down. Even Durbin has slowed down a little bit, but he's not going anywhere. Blake Perkins getting pinch hit for was something that, going 0 for 2, you could see that coming. But the Brewers, the offense, I think, right now is what people are concerned with, given they haven't seen that same identity that maybe we've seen earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's all about matchups. With the matchups that you're going to have and who you're going to play. I looked at all the teams that they possibly could play. Everybody that they play is really on a little bit more dominant on the left-hand side as far as the pitching goes. The opponents do, but depending on who you play, what pitchers they have. If you face a San Diego, you know what kind of pitchers you have. We know these teams. We know what they bring. We've just played them. So I think it's going to go by matchups. It's going to go by pitching matchups. I think Murph is going to make decisions to say, hey, against this certain pitcher, I like this guy playing, so I'm going to position the fielders that way. He's got so many variations that he can do because what he does, the outfield is not set in stone. You don't have to play guys in certain areas. You got a lot of different things you can do out there. But when it all comes down to it, he's going to go by matchup. And it's going to be a matchup that he feels is the best matchup to win a baseball game. And I think everybody understands that. Everybody has to be ready to adapt to it. And it's no difference than they've been playing all year. Making matchups that are going to bring success. That's what Murph is going to try to do in the playoffs.
I mean, I'm at the point where I would not be surprised because Jake Bauers is hitting so well right now, and despite, the concerns on defense of him as a left fielder, that Bauers, if they're facing a right-handed starter, that Bauers could get the start in left field. I really do believe that could happen right now with just the way the offense is going, to sacrifice that in left field. Then you make your arrangements later in the game to keep Churio in center. But then what you do is you bring Perkins as a defensive replacement. There are other ways to do that. But again, you're right, Augie. It is all matchup based for what the Brewers are going to want to do into October. We'll break all that down later on. Let's get to the phone lines, 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620. Wesley calling from Park Ridge down in Illinois. Wesley, you're live on Brewers Extra Innings.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I called back in the middle of July, a little bit after the All-Star break, and gave some thoughts on what the lineup should be. And, after that, they did really well. But I've got some other things I wanted to briefly mention. The Brewers appear to be similar to what the Florida Marlins were as a team in 2003. And they, of course, won the World Series that year. The game of baseball is a game of psychology. It's the slower sports than basketball, hockey, and football. So a lot of it's psychology. And I watched the game today, and Jacob Mizrachi had come in. He would probably be better as a closer, something like a Josh Beckett was in 2003, or you could put him back as a starter and see what happens. But he might be better off coming in the ninth inning to close out a playoff game. The other thing I wanted to mention was, as far as the lineup, I would have Yelich first, Vaughn second, Terrain third, Churio cleanup, and Durbin fifth. long ago, several years ago, the Yankees, I believe, had Judge batting ninth. So that goes into what I'm saying as far as baseball, the game of psychology. You kind of mess around with the other opposing team and try to psych them out, so to speak, at times. So that's kind of what I had to say. So I hope it helps.
I appreciate the caller, Wesley. Appreciate the honesty. When it comes to the lineup, Contreras is going to have to fit in there somewhere. I still don't think Yelich ultimately is going to be the leadoff hitter in the postseason. I think they will reverse course and put Sal Frelick back in there as part of those experiments that we're talking about right now that Pat Murphy is going through. But on the Mizorowski note, let's break him down and break down Robert Gasser, what we learned about the postseason roster up next on 620 WTMJ.
Hey Brewers fans, did you know you can get free tickets to an upcoming Milwaukee Brewers game if you replace all the windows in your home with Window Nation? And this month, when you buy 2 windows, Window Nation will give you 2 for free. Plus, you won't make any payments for 2 years. That's right, no interest, no monthly payments, and no down payment. Get 1-day installation with Window Nation, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Ooh, something smells good.
Let's see. Melt 2 sticks of butter and add sugar.
Ben, what are you doing?
I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner.
What? It's way too early for that.
I know, Arvid, but I just can't wait to serve a big family meal on the Flay table from Penny Mustard.
Oh, I love the Flay table. The design is so sleek and simple, yet oh so perfect.
Mix in 2 cups of peanut butter and strained beets.
The Flay's strong Midwest craftsmanship means you'll be serving family feasts on this table for generations.
Half a cup of mayonnaise.
And it's expandable, so as your family grows, the Flay table grows too.
And just a dash of Tabasco.
Hold on. What recipe are you making?
Recipe? What's a recipe?
The American-made solid wood Flay table paired with 4 Kendall chairs with your choice of fabric or leather starting at $68.71 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Tastier versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing. WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee, home to the state's most up-to-date luxury appliance showroom, featuring top brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Bosch, GE Cafe, and more. They work seamlessly with your designer or contractor. Customize with colors from Blue Star and True Residential. As a small family-owned business with one location, they handle everything from start to finish. Visit ApplianceGalleryWI.com or stop in today.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers Extra Innings brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electric. As temps drop, don't risk a cold shower. Now through October 31st, Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electric offering $200 off a new water heater, plus a free 5-year extended labor warranty. Stay cozy and visit Cider, SEIDER.com today. With Jerry Augustine, I'm Dom Cotroneo. When we look at the starters, the tandem, if you will, that we saw today in the beginning of the contest with Robert Gasser and Jacob Mizorowski. Let's start with Jacob Mizorowski, Augie, and the situation he was brought in there. I was a little surprised, and then I realized I shouldn't be surprised that he was brought in with the bases loaded and 2 outs against 8-9 in the order. Maybe you would think, give him a soft landing and let him in. Well, if he's going to pitch in the bullpen, if he's going to get an opportunity to pitch in the bullpen in October, you don't get the opportunity for a soft landing. And we'll play Pat Murphy's comments a little bit later on. He kept using the word, we gave him an opportunity. We gave him an opportunity. And quite frankly, the opportunity passed him by. And for Jacob Mizorowski tonight, it pains me to say it, but I think it's the truth. I don't see a role for Jacob Mizorowski on a postseason roster. What do you see?
Well, the struggles that he's had and been able to throw strikes, he's been inconsistent. And, I look at Jacob Mizorowski, and I was watching him throw a little bit tonight, or listening to him to throw, and just watching what he does you can sometimes go by the pitch count where he is, if he's ahead in the count, where he's throwing strikes. But it just seems like he can't find that comfort zone on the mound and find that good release point. It looks like sometimes that he's throwing the ball, and it's like when you got something out in front of you, you just go out and grab it. You grab it consistently in the same spot. He can't find that same spot to release the ball and have that good fluid delivery to the plate, and that's why he's all so inconsistent, not only with his fastball, but even with his breaking ball, and I think that's really hurt him. I think he's just in a little bit of a spot right now where he's having problems with his delivery and consistent location. Does he have the stuff to qualify to be a good pitcher and help this ball club? Definitely. His upside is so big, but right now he's just got a delivery where it's a little out of whack. He's inconsistent, and like you just said, I don't know if that's going to be an area where the Brewers want to take a chance of putting him in the playoffs and when they get to the playoff series.
Yeah, when you look at it, you can live with a swinging bunt. All right, he got ahead of Key Brian Hayes 0-2. Swinging bunt, scores a run. Okay, it happens. It's not the end of the world. Given all the other traffic and the mess that he was inheriting in that frame, you wear. And you know what? If you leave it at 2, it's no big deal. But then to follow that up in the next batter, 9-hitter Matt McClain, who had been 0 for his last 16 going to that bat, to not even force him to take the bat off the shoulders and to draw a walk. That was the moment that you go, that's just something that he's going to learn to get better at. Jacob Misiorowski is a part of this future. He is still a rookie. He is still somebody that the Brewers believe in. I think there's plenty of upside here for Jacob Misiorowski, but he is learning in real time that big leagues are not the minor leagues. It is harder to get guys out. Even the 9-hitter on a big league team, Augie, is going to be better than anybody you face in AAA. And if you're a little bit off, even that 9-hitter who's 0 for his last 16 can snuff that out and stay patient, draw a walk. Friedel with 2 strikes goes opposite field and the Brewers implode on themselves. So the point being is that the 9-batter walk, that's the stuff that you key on and say, eliminate that, and this is a different story tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, I went back and watched a tape on him when he came in the ball game and he faced Hayes and that first guy. He threw a good breaking ball for a strike. He came in the mound, he got the sign, he went and got it. It was real good pace and rhythm with him. We talked about last time, you and I talked the last time he pitched, about having that good pace and rhythm. Then he threw a fastball and he threw that ball right by him, 103 miles an hour. Came back with the breaking ball. What did he do in that? Just got out of pace and rhythm of it. I wish that he came back with a fastball. I don't like to say what they could have, would have, should have, but it just seemed like he was in that little groove where he had a good pace and rhythm. That time he just overthrew it a little bit, got a little bit behind it, and the guy was able to put the ball in play. And, those things happen. And like you said, his future is going to be beyond what we can even think of. He could be that good. But right now he's just not in that spot where he's got that comfort zone where he can help, where he can go and pitch on a consistent basis.
When you look at it for Miz, we'll see what the Brewers ultimately decide to do for him in the postseason. But Robert Gasser, he wasn't quite himself tonight either. Didn't get some help from his own defense, or even Isaac Collins had a rough day and left. He got some help from Terang and Durbin in that key second inning. I think Robert Gasser still has a harder case to make the postseason roster, just because if Jose Quintana is back and healthy, there may or may not be a role for Gasser coming into the postseason. But now 2 starts back in the major leagues. He's healthy. He's going to be a factor in this rotation next season. What did you see from the young southpaw as he makes his final outing of 2025?
Dom, I really like this kid. I really do. And I'll explain why. If DL Hall is not 100%, and they don't think he can pitch I think he's the one kind of guy, if they want to have that double left-handed guy with Aaron Ashby and have another lefty with him like they had with DL Hall earlier in the season, I think Gasser could really help this ball club. The reason I like him, I like his arm slot. He has an arm slot of like a Chamonix of the Mets, or like Chris Sale, or even Josh Hader. Comes that low 3/4, and he's got that good spin on the ball. He cuts the ball in. He's got a good breaking ball, and he does throw strikes. He can be consistent. That's an interesting area, and I think that's going to be a tough decision for the Brewers to decide whether is a DL Hall ready for the postseason. Is he back far enough where he can help the ball club, or can a Gasser be a partner to Aaron Ashby and come in the game and get some people out from the left side? Because like I said earlier, a lot of teams that you may play in the postseason are left-handed, so you have a lot of left-handed strength, and you're going to need that left-handed pitching.
You're going to need more than one lefty. Different looks, different variety, not just Ashby, not just Koenig. Who else can get you if you're up against the wall in the 4th or 5th inning? You can't bring in Koenig there. You can't bring in Ashby there. That's where Gasser can factor in. That's where Hall is going to factor in. The Brewers do expect him to maybe be activated tomorrow. So all of these things should be figured out. Let's talk about momentum. That seems to be the word of the day. That's coming up on the other side of the break as the Brewers fall 7-4, but they're still the top seed in baseball. Back after this on 620 WTMJ.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only. And you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door. Hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
You'll get a new heat pump system, a new furnace, and a full home duct cleaning all together as a package at about half price. Half price! That's how it all shakes out. Not a gimmick. And both the furnace and the heat pump system are high-quality units. This is Anthony Zanevsky. All you have to do is purchase a heat pump system from Quality, and you'll get a free furnace and a free duct cleaning. All totaled, the cost would be about $20,000. When you add in the new tax incentives that you'll get back at the end of the year, you're going to end up paying about half. That's about $10K for a high-quality furnace, heat pump system, and a full home duct cleaning. It's limited time. And last time we did this, the units went pretty fast. So if your home needs a new furnace upgrade and a heat pump system that can act as a brand new AC system as well as a furnace backup, take advantage while you can and cut your energy bills substantially. Call Quality and get them while they're hot.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Listen to WTMJ as the Brewers make their charge to the postseason. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin and featured by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ. Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers fall today 7-4. But there's still a silver lining on it. Brewers will be the 1 seed. They will have home field Saturday, October 4th. Game 1 will be here at American Family Field. TBD on who they're facing, either the Padres or the Cubs. That series was locked into Wrigley with the Cubs win earlier today. Let's do a little buy or sell. It's brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, trust Tony Wendorf and Associates, one of the top real estate teams in Wisconsin and part of First Weber Real Estate Services. They bring faith, family, and a red carpet experience to every home deal. Let's step up to the plate together. WendorfTeam.firstweber.com. All right, so the word of the day is momentum. Are you buying or selling? This team needs to have momentum going into this 5-day layoff, Jerry Augustine, that the Brewers, we've seen them do multiple fashions in this run of postseason play, right? They had momentum in 2018. Obviously, they came one game short of making the World Series. 2019, they didn't have momentum. They also didn't have their star, Christian Yelich. 2021, I would say they had average. I wouldn't say they had momentum. I didn't say they were backing in either in 2021. 2023 didn't really have great. 2024, they're kind of going through the motions. And now they certainly don't have momentum. But the difference is they get to hit the reset button. I think if there's a team that could benefit from that reset button, it's this one because we know they're not playing up to their standards. So I personally am selling the fact that momentum is what this team needs heading into October.
Well, I like the name momentum. I think it's always a good thing to have. But I look at this ball club, and this ball club, it's taken on a personality that we play one game at a time. That game is the most important part. We've got to go out and play, and they've got the same players that have gone out and played so well. So when I think about momentum, it's about the ability to go out, relax, and play the game, and play great in all three phases. When you go out and you play good, solid defense, which I think this team is as good as any team in baseball, you're going to do very well. If you're going to go out and pitch real well, both in the starting and the bullpen, you're going to do very well. Bullpens become extremely important when you get to the playoffs. And then what you go is the offense. Can you go and put the offensive numbers up that you've done all year? Can you have good at-bats? And this team continually does that. I don't think we've had a lot of fluctuation from that. But the other word for momentum I always take is your momentum starts with your starting pitcher, getting off on a good step, keeping the team in the game, and allowing your team to do what they've done all year long. And this is a team that we've talked about that goes out and plays 27 outs. They're going to play 27 outs strong. Nothing's going to face them. They're not going to change the way they play. And I think that's where the momentum comes. Get that starter to go out there, keep them in the game, have the strength of that bullpen, play good, solid defense, and come up with some big offensive numbers. Both, like we've talked the second half of the year, hit some home runs and also manufacture runs.
You know, when I look at momentum, whenever I am faced with a conflict like this, I just simply, one of the easiest ways to analyze it is how would I feel if it was reversed? What if the Brewers were the hottest team in baseball to get to the number 1 seed, to get this momentum, to get the bye? How would we be feeling knowing you're going to have 5 days off? You're like, oh my gosh, they can't have 5 days off. They're going to lose that momentum, right? We talk about this all the time. And then furthermore, the fact that the Brewers do get this break gives me confidence that they can create momentum and hit the reset button. And again, we said this earlier, Augie, the lineups, the experimentation, the pinch hit opportunities, that's not how it's exactly going to go in October. I think the Brewers are trying to find out what they have, not necessarily trying to, I don't want to say they're not trying to win the game because they are, but they're trying to find if there's a different way they can win the game than maybe the traditional Yelly hitting third or pinch hitting for Joey in the 6th inning, right? These are things that the Brewers want to try to find out now before they really matter come next week.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that team that you're going to see walk off the field tomorrow after the 9 innings are played against the Cincinnati Reds is going to be a different ball club than when it walks on the field for the playoffs. I think what you're doing, you're talking about adjustments. You're talking about different seeing guys, what guys can do, what the different type of batting orders are, who's going to play where, how you're going to pinch hit, what you're going to do with your pitching staff. I think that all comes into play after. And I think that one thing we have to really credit Murph is he knows how to keep this team ready. He knows their personality. He knows how to get to them and get that little extra when you need to get it. He's got good coaches around him that keeps everybody on their toes. All the coaches work so hard each and every day. You'll see them go out on the field in pregame, and every day they're working on something. Maybe they'll go out and go PFPs one day, or maybe they'll take infield. This is something that consistently doing it all year prepares them for the playoffs. And so I think Murph does such a good job that when that team walks off the field tomorrow and comes back on next Saturday, is going to be a team that's prepared and ready to go.
I agree. All right, well, I see some calls on the line. We'll get to you guys on the other side of the break. Sam and Greg, I see you. Hang on. We'll get to you in a moment. But, Augie, I appreciate your coverage all season long. I'm not working the DS as of now unless it goes long and we get some scheduling favor in our favor. But I appreciate you, my friend. I got to send you off with a proper goodbye. Thank you for bringing your insight all season long to us here on WTMJ. Hopefully you and I are talking in the CS, but in the DS, it won't be me, so I just want to say thank you for being on here.
Oh, Dom, it's been so much fun. We've had so much discussing different entities with this team, really breaking it down. You've done an awesome job of going and doing the pregame show. It's so awesome to listen to. And then we get to chat. We get to talk baseball. That's what the fans like to hear. And both of our insights are a little bit different, but we bring it to a head, and the fans like that. And that's what's most important. And having the fans enjoy what we do. And thank you for allowing me to be with you and enjoying this season that's been very special.
He's a big leaguer. He's one of the 20,000 of all time. He's a big leaguer. Jerry Augustine joining us right here on WTMJ. Thanks, Augie.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll be back with more of these phone calls. We'll hear from Murph a little bit later on 620 WTMJ.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Come catch the final battle of the regular season when the Brewers host the Reds Friday, September 26th through Sunday, September 28th. We're celebrating the best fans in the game on Saturday, the 27th at Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Toyota. Plus, if you're one of the first 30,000 fans through the gates, you'll take home a Brewers tumbler giveaway too, presented by Quick Trip. Come close out the regular season with the crew. Get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
Why settle for just a job when you can have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee new car dealer members have service technicians, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam member new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.com/jobs. That's ADAMM.com/jobs.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings Player of the Game. It's brought to you by International Autos Group. Just like the game's MVP, you can drive into the season in style and save up to $10,000 on in-stock BMWs, Audis, Mercedes-Benz, and more. No tariffs, just huge savings. Visit ia-milwaukee.com. International Autos Group, where ordinary needs to be extraordinary. Give some love to Carlos Rodriguez. 2 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts for him. An RBI and a homer for RBI for Terang, a homer for Churio. Those guys are candidates as well. Jake Bauer's coming off the bench as a candidate too, so things to monitor in that. Let's get to the phone lines, 855-616-1620. Sam in Chicago has been waiting patiently. Sam, you're live on Brewers Extra Innings.
Hey, Dom. Sam, first time, but following Augie, I think it's kind of, kind of picturesque. I grew up seeing the ads of Augie, doing the Dells ads and stuff like that, and just knowing that the Brewers are the best team in the whole league is astounding, right? So how you can be upset about the season's performance is beyond me. I'm just really excited. I live here in Chicago, actually a half a mile away from Wrigley, and it simultaneously terrifies me and excites me knowing that we could have potentially Cubs-Brewers CC matchup in the future. I think this is a playoff of storylines. Whether you have Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, just a lot of exciting matchups, and can't go more into the postseason being more excited than I am now.
Yeah, I love it, Sam. I appreciate the call, and you're right. I think that that feeling you have, that pins and needles, that nervous and excitement, that's a privilege. That is so much fun to experience this, because there are 18 other teams that are not going to get to experience this, right? You never take it for granted. You never say, oh, we'll go next season. You really can't count on that, because you just never know how it's going to go. But I hope you make it to one of those games at Wrigley, Sam, rocking some Brewers pinstripes and enjoy the day if the Brewers are facing those Cubs. Let's get to Greg here in Milwaukee. Greg, you're live on Brewers Extra Innings.
Yes, I've listened to the Brewers on WTMJ all summer long, and as the trend continues, I've noticed certain deficiencies, and one of the deficiencies is Joey Ortiz. And if somebody would explain to me why Murph keeps going to him. Now, tonight, for example, in the 8th inning, we had bases loaded again, had a chance to get within 1 run of the Reds, and he strikes out. And this has been a pattern basically all summer long. He's left so many people on base, and yet Murph keeps going back to him over and over again. Is it because we have no one else in that position? Or I know he's been pitch hit for a couple of times, but the amount of times he's been on with bases loaded and not producing, and Murph keeps going back to him, I don't understand. If somebody could explain it to me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's how it all works out with that. In October, I think it's going to be different. In September, when you're trying to bolster some confidence, trying to create something that he can latch onto, right? He hits a double off the yellow line today. It's his second extra base hit in over a month. That's finally something positive happening for him. And he gets bases loaded, 2 outs opportunity, ends up grounding out. He's had the most opportunities with the bases loaded in baseball this year. He has not come through in those situations. He knows that, you know that. But I think in October, you're going to see a pinch hitter in that situation. I think it's a manager trying to create confidence because he knows he is going to be the starting shortstop for the Brewers in October. We all love Andrew Monasterio. I think we love him more in a pinch hit, off the bench role as a utility player that can play first, that can play third, that can play short, that can play left, that can do all of that. That is his value. Joey's value is on defense, and Joey is somebody that, the Brewers have documented his mental battles, that sometimes he gets down on himself. Sometimes his confidence wavers, and they're trying to recreate the confidence heading into October. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened this last week. I do think that's going to change in October, but sometimes it just takes one swing. The unlikeliest of heroes pop out in October. You just never know. Steve Pearce won a World Series MVP for the Boston Red Sox, right? You never know what's going to happen in October, and his value defensively is so big for the Brewers, but in that situation, 6th inning, tying run on base, yeah, I think we would see a pinch hit situation for the Brewers in October. I hope that answers your question, Greg, and appreciate the call. And I think that's a common refrain from a lot of fans, and that's the best of the way that I can answer it right now from Pat Murphy. We'll hear from Pat Murphy up next on 620 WTMJ.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
1-2. Chopper to third. Backhanded by Durbin. Comes home with it. The tag applied by Jansen. They got him. They cut down Ellie De La Cruz on a ground ball to third. That is a huge second out.
That's our Surfside play of the game, brought to you by Surfside, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Available at American Family Field all season long. Surfside iced tea and vodka, Surfside lemonade and vodka. Get yours here at the ballpark. The manager, Pat Murphy, spoke to the media a lot about Miz, a lot about Gasser, and a lot about his offense and what's going right and wrong with the crew right now.
What's your takeaway from what you saw from Mizorowski?
He didn't hold his water. You know what I mean? Like, he got the job done with a swing bunt. But then, you come in that situation, there was an opportunity to just establish that, he can throw strikes in those big situations. I think it was a great experience for him, but he didn't get it done. And then it snowballed after that. He was behind in the count a lot, high pitch count. But then he settled in, did some good things, but a lot of traffic.
Did you want the situation, like kind of a messy situation, for him to come in to see what it looked like?
I mean, I think it's important, and gave him a great opportunity. It gave him a great opportunity there to really I can get out of this, guys. And there's two ways to look at it. You can give them a soft landing, and then what? What do you know from that? You're building them up. Well, we don't play any more games. So I felt like it was the right thing to do. It wasn't best for the team today, but I think it was the right thing to do.
Conversely, what did you think about Gassner's start?
Thought he threw the ball good. Easily could have left him in there and let him get out of it himself. I thought he made some big pitches, showed poise. I was pleased with him.
Offensively, Murph, you've kind of been in this spot a lot lately where your guys they see the end probably. Did anything stand out tonight about better, worse, same?
Yeah, I mean, you got to credit the Reds pitching. The Reds pitching's outstanding. This one, a hot team in baseball right now. They just beat the Cubs 4 straight. This is a hot team in baseball, and they beat the Cubs 4 straight, and they didn't score many runs. So this is a good pitching team, and they're in their best mode, and they're playing for survival. They have to win again tomorrow, right? Or the Mets have to lose, one or the other. But if the Mets win, they have to win. So they're in survival mode. They're playing their best baseball. It's dangerous. Just like the Mets were last year at this time, it's dangerous. And we're playing, not exactly lining up to win at all costs. You know what I mean? It's just like do some different things. But, again, it's hard to turn it on and turn it off. You can say don't coast, and I don't think they're coasting. They had a great effort, but it's not the same. It's not the same. In the way we've won, nobody expected us to win. We don't have the experience that would say we're going to win, or maybe even the talent that say we're going to win. We just had a team, and that team ended up with the best record in baseball. So I'm not going to criticize this club for anything. I'm not going to evaluate the psychological state of them in a game that the ramifications now really aren't that great. No one got hurt. Hopefully we just keep going. You can't say they weren't excited to play. You can't say that the crowd was fantastic. They start booing this team and stuff like that. I start laughing. Like, it's unfortunate they don't realize. Then they put up on the board in the 6th inning with the number 1 seed in baseball with the best record. So, it's a time that you just can't. You just keep shaking your head. Like the Phillies got beat at home today by a team that's 25 games under 500. I mean, and they had a lot to play for. You know what I mean? I guess. I credit the Reds. I think they're doing a nice job. We've won that. How many straight series against the Reds? 13 straight series. Over how many years? Mike wouldn't know, but
22.
All right. So how do you do that against a team? Win 13 straight series. So take hats off to them. They went out and did some things this year in the offseason. They went out at the trade deadline and made some huge acquisitions. We've just witnessed it. So credit them. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't criticize our guys. And I'm not saying you were, but I'm just saying, when there were some good at bats tonight and everything else. But I'm very confident in this team. Very confident we won 96 games for a reason. But it's tricky to navigate. Now we get a week off after tomorrow. It's tricky, especially for young players. And we're beat up on the mound. Okay, which team down the stretch has got 3 starters out, 3 starting pitchers out? You know what I mean? We've had that for a while. So. Now we got Gasser back that can maybe contribute a little bit. We got Quintana, looks like he's healthy and coming back, but still uncertain on McGill and but Henderson's been out for how long now? And he pitched great for us. And was rolling. Woody not being around. So give this team the credit they deserve. Tonight's win, tonight's game. Yeah. Didn't put it together against a team that's real hungry and a team that's playing great.
The Reds need everyone they get. And I thought that was a great answer for Murph. I really enjoy his candor all season long. We'll talk to him again tomorrow. We have another Brewers warm-up. We'll give you your window ahead and say goodnight after this on 620 WTMJ.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Wisconsin sports fans, Brian Balaga here from my friends at Surfside. Football season is back, and we're bringing you your tailgate must-have. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your home team. Made with real vodka and real brewed tea, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
You know when that big online store has special days with ridiculously low prices?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Hasselus Mattress do that?
We do.
You do? When?
Every day.
Okay, good one. But really, when are the big discounts?
Like I said, every day. You know our showrooms are employee-free.
So I can give your mattresses a try?
With no pushy sales guy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that allows us to sell Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more for way less.
Give me numbers.
Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next-day delivery, too.
And you do this every day?
Yeah. Plus, through Monday, get a free box spring with every Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more, or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Wow.
So I guess you could say now is a prime time to buy.
I see what you did there.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station. What's coming up for the crew? This is your window to what's ahead. Brought to you by Window Nation.
Brewers' magic number is closed. They are the number 1 seed in baseball, so it's the perfect time to take advantage of Window Nation's playoff special. Right now, you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. Plus no payments for 2 years, and get free tickets to a future Brewers game when you replace all the windows in your home. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com now. So tomorrow, the last game. This is it, game 162. One more win, and the Brewers will have a franchise record in victories. And, you know, there's discourse about, do they really want it? I can't believe they're backing in, all this stuff. You know what's cooler than franchise win is, you know, a pennant. You know, a franchise record or a pennant. I'm going to take the pennant every time. Make sure this team is healthy. Make sure this team is good to go heading into next Saturday, because that's when the season really begins now. The Brewers have earned this bye. The Brewers have earned the chance to be 0-0 on October 4th, and that's all that really matters for Milwaukee. But tomorrow, odd start time. 2:10, because everybody plays at the same time in Major League Baseball. Take notes, NFL. Everybody plays at the same time on the last day of the season. So there's no hijinks, there's no manipulating of rosters, there's no changing your strategy based on the results of other games, if other teams are relying on it. Now, granted, tomorrow, there's only one spot left at the dance. That is either going to be the Reds or the Mets. Again, they play at the same time. We'll do plenty of scoreboard watching. The point being, the Reds have the tiebreaker. So if the Reds win, doesn't matter what the Mets do. The Reds are going to be the last team into the postseason, and they'll be boarding a plane to Los Angeles for a best-of-3 series against the Dodgers. If the Reds lose, the Mets have to win in order to get into the postseason. If the Mets and the Reds lose, the Reds are in. It's that simple. The Reds have the tiebreaker. They can't finish tied. The Reds will be the team that gets in. Tomorrow, they will be starting the right-hander Brady Singer going it off against the Brewers, and Freddie Peralta is scheduled to be a short start for him. They have bullpen help behind him. They do expect Trevor McGill to be activated. They do expect DL Hall to be activated, so that's maybe 2 innings to cover right there. You imagine Uribe is going to get an inning regardless of the score. Koenig's going to get an inning regardless of the score. Ashby's going to get an inning regardless of the score, so they are in pretty good shape to decide what they want to do for tomorrow's game if they need to make a roster move. Now, I tweeted this earlier, but I'll reiterate it here on the show. If you option somebody tomorrow, a la Jacob Mizorowski, to make room for McGill and Hall on this active roster, If you option somebody, they are still subjected to the 15-day rule, meaning you can have to stay technically 15 days off the active roster in the minor leagues. Obviously, the minor league season is over, but you still have to spend 15 days down unless you are replacing an injury on the playoff roster. So if somebody is optioned tomorrow, that means they're not eligible to return until the CS. That's how that would work for the Brewers. They could put some guys on the IL. Same logic applies. You still have to spend 15 days on the injured list. We'll have some content in the lead up. We'll talk about this tomorrow, but we'll have some content in the lead up to Saturday. We won't know the Brewers' opponent until Wednesday at the soonest, Thursday at the latest. And we won't know the game times probably until Thursday night, Friday morning for what the Brewers are going to be getting ready for as the 1 seed, hosting either the Padres or the Cubs. So as the Brewers get ready to give these guys a round of applause tomorrow and salute them, and hopefully on what is their 97th win of the season to set the franchise record, maybe create a little bit of momentum, create some excitement heading into this 5 days off. Pat Murphy talked about it earlier this week. These practices starting on Tuesday, they're going to be at the ballpark every day, Tuesday through Friday, to get ready for Saturday. And there's going to be intent. There's going to be focused practice. They're not going to do the full, like, inter-squad, let's do simulated games and do, the starting lineups and be in full uniform and let crowd in. That's not what they're going to do, but they are going to play with intent every day to try to stay sharp in the meantime for the Brewers getting into the NLDS. So the National League field is -1. The Brewers are the 1 seed. The Phillies are the 2 seed. Cubs will be hosting the Padres in the wild card matchup at Wrigley Field. The Dodgers will be hosting the last team in, either the Mets or these Reds. Coming up, the wild card series starts on Tuesday. In the American League, the field is set. The order is not. The byes will be going to the winner of the East and the Seattle Mariners. The East is tied, Toronto and New York. Toronto has the tiebreaker, so if they end up with the same record, Toronto gets the bye, and New York would be hosting a wild card series, and vice versa if Toronto falls out of winning the East. Then you've got Cleveland and Detroit coming down to the last day. Cleveland holds a tiebreaker over the Tigers. Seattle is in. Houston is out. All of that is to be decided tomorrow. Boston is also in. They are going to be likely heading to the Bronx to take on the Yankees with 88 wins right now. Or the Blue Jays. Who knows? Could be a divisional matchup in the wild card in the American League side. So that's what things look like over there. They're all knotted up. Tomorrow, the Mets will be starting Sean Manaea. I imagine you're going to see 6 outs from Edwin Diaz, maybe more if he's needed. Going up against Edward Cabrera, one of their young stud right-handers, 143 strikeouts and 132 innings in his season. But again, for the Brewers tomorrow, they'll be facing a right-hander, Brady Singer, and then also Freddie Peralta. It is going to be a short start for him. That is to be expected. They understand that this is start number 34. He's already achieved the 200 strikeout plateau. That was the priority of Freddie Peralta. In the words of Chris Hook, he was explaining it to me earlier today, they're comparing it like an accordion. You don't want to squeeze the air too small and then try to pull it out as fast as possible. It doesn't work like that. So maybe 3 ups, maybe 50-ish pitches, 60-ish pitches for Freddie Peralta tomorrow. Let him be fresh and ready to go, and he'll get 5 full days off before Saturday. He will get the ball, Game 1 of the National League Division Series. I can't believe it. We're here. 162 games later. It all comes to an end tomorrow. The Brewers are the 1 seed. No matter what happens, they are the 1 seed, and they know they've got a date on Saturday. The Reds, they're going to come out guns blazing. Maybe Hunter Green is even available in the bullpen tomorrow, given Emilio Pagan has pitched in 4 straight games. Tony Santillan got ready for a 4th straight game. Their bullpen's on fumes, but they don't care. This is what you play all 162 for it all to come down to 1 game. This is going to be fun tomorrow. So, again, we're on the air at 1 o'clock for Brewers warm-up. Game starts at 2:10. And let's react to all of it together. Our producer has been Evan Witalison tonight. I'm Dom Cotroneo. We will talk to you tomorrow for the finale. Until then, keep on swinging.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure.